Hello, everyone. So, this is going to be the last reinforcing lesson for the short E. So, you guys have made it pretty far. Um, it still goes in more or less the same uh, pattern. So, you should know exactly what to do by now. But I am going to walk you through a couple of these phonogram cards just for some of us that haven't. Been doing as many of the lessons. Okay, so first we pronounce the letter and then we pronounce the sound that it makes. So this is P, P. No, it is not pa. Oh my goodness, even I said it. So let me remind everybody. Uh, when there's a word like there you go. We don't want to say like buh and duh and things like that. So there was a perfect example. So we want to say P B B. Okay, and here come the vowels. So we have A, and that's the last of the vowels. Very good, guys. Okay, so these are our decodable words. As I looked through the words, I noticed that they all have the short E sound that we've been working on, which is eh. But all of these words are going to have four letters in them, and we need to pronounce each of the sounds. So as we tap this one out, it should say s, eh, n, d, send. So you guys practice. And there we go. Good job, guys. Okay, so now we're going to take some words that were similar to the ones that we were decoding, and the fact that they have that short E sound that says eh, and some consonants. So I am going to put the little markers here. Remember, white is consonant and green is vowel. And then I'm going to read some words to you and have you write the word. Just use any piece of paper. Write the word, and then I'll have you change the word to something different. But the markers may not necessarily change, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put the first set of markers up. So we have a consonant, a vowel, and two more consonants. So that's CVCC. That's our spelling pattern for now. May change a little bit. And so the first word I'm going to give you, and use these markers to help you remember how to spell it, is held. So you can tap those sounds out if you need to. E, O, D. Okay. Oh yeah, and remember to hit the space bar if I'm going too fast, so to slow it down a little bit. So now let's change that word held to help. And it doesn't look like we need to change any of the markers, just the spelling of the word. So, e, o, okay, and then we'll change that to helm. I know that's a strange word. That means like the front of a ship, I believe. So it's e, o, helm. Okay, now we're going to change helm to elm. So you can hear that that starts with short E. So we can get rid of this little marker here, and now you can see that we can spell elm, e, o, elm. And then we will change elm to elf. Also does not look like we need to change the markers. We can figure it out from here. And we can tap out the sounds. E, o, f. And then we'll change elf to self. So now there is a letter in front of that short E. So we'll put that here. It's S, which is a consonant, S. So we have S, E, O, F. And that's all we have. Good job, guys. All right. So now, since we're not together, we don't have the small letters, or we don't have a marker to write with, we're going to go ahead and write some words in the palm of our hand. So I'm going to say the words, and then I want you guys to sound them out as though you're tapping them out and write them on your hand. So the first word is held. So I'll do that with you. E, O, D. And then the next word is help. E, O, P. And then the next word is helm. Are these looking familiar? E, O, And then we have elm, which is a kind of a tree. O, and then it's elf. O, and the last one is self. O. All right, nice job. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and decode these words. I noticed, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, most of these words are CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant, so we should know how to do that pretty well. But let's go through, as we go across the rows, let's go through the first 3 of them, and then I'm going to leave you to it and come back to do the rest of the page at the bottom. Okay, so we have met, met, net, net, leg, leg, leg. All right, you guys keep going, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so now we're going to go through these sentences at the bottom, and remember, we need to be trying to picture the words as we read them, so that it helps us understand the sentence when we're finished. And you can do that anytime. Anytime that you're reading is a good practice to try to visualize what you're reading, make a picture in your mind, so you can help yourself tell the story. This doesn't really tell a very interesting story, but here we go. So I will read it with you guys. We have Ed can jog in the fog. Peg's cat sat in the den. Tom cut the net at the end. The hen's leg is wet. Yes, Rex has a tan pet dog. All right, wasn't that exciting? All right, so after having read that story, sort of, an enthralling story, I'm going to ask you some questions, and the first one is, what is Ed doing? He is jogging. That's right. So we would look, they ask, what is he doing? So we would look for the verb, which is the action word in the sentence, and jog is definitely an action word. And then the next sentence, whose cat is this? Peg's cat. That's right. And the next sentence is, the question is, what job do you think Tom has? And this is just a guess. They don't really say. But yes, Tom might be a fisherman. Okay, and then how do you think the hen's leg got wet? This is another one where you just have to sort of guess. They call it inferring. How did that hen's leg get wet? Maybe it stepped in a puddle. Okay, so then what color is Rex's pet? The dog is tan. Yeah, so you kind of have to scan